Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. You guys, today is one of those videos that I absolutely love doing because it is new makeup, new makeup collections for all your Mother's Day needs. And these are my favorite. So I am so excited to show you our new lip whip, lip tints, and spoiler alert, they're not just tints for the lips. So stay tuned for that. And a beautiful collection that we are releasing for Mother's Day. So if any of that sounds exciting to you, grab your favorite beverage and let's chat about it. Let's talk lip tints. And I'm gonna go a little bit out of order in how I show it versus when I apply it so that you guys can see what a lip tint is. So I am a lip tint, lip stain junkie. I buy every product out on the market because I want something that's going to give me some lasting color to the lips, but my arch nemesis is drying matte lip products. And I have a couple that I just cannot stomach. If you have mature lips, like I do, fine lines, wrinkles, things like that, and you're looking for something with a little bit of staying power, but you want it to be hydrating, you want it to be glossy, that is always what I am on the search for. And when I saw that Seint was releasing lip tints, I was like, okay, we need to figure out what does that mean. So here's what I'm gonna do. Seint has released 5 beautiful colors. They are inspired by current and previous lip and cheek shades. I am going to test them all on the lips for you at a very thin, just flush of color and something with a little bit more vibrancy so you can see all the different ways that you can wear them. But first things first, what I wanna do is swatch them on my hand so that for the duration of this video, they can sit on my hand and then I can show you what it looks like when I wipe them off afterwards so you can see what they say or what they mean when they say lip tint. So I did try 4 of the 5 colors over the last 48 hours to be able to know how to apply them, how do they feel, how to get the most coverage, how to get the thinnest layer. So I have lots of details for you, but we're gonna simply start with the swatches and we are gonna start with Pinky. If you know me, I am a sucker for packaging. It's one of the things that drew me to Seint from the very beginning is that it feels like luxury. Like this is heavy. Guys, this is a heavy tube. I love that about it. It is one of the things that always impressed me about Seint is that they do not skimp on their packaging. So you're paying reasonable prices for what feels like luxury beauty. Okay, so this is Pinky. And what I want you to see is it's a cool toned pink. I did it very light on the hand, but you'll see it has this sheen to it. That is what my favorite lip staining, lip tinting products, whether it's an oil, a lipstick, a balm, a gel. Here it is a little bit thicker. That's what I am looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to leave a little bit of color, but is not going to dry down my lips because if it does, it's gonna settle into my fine lines and wrinkles. And it's one of those products that I'm like, oh, immediately I need to put something on top of it. So I am happy to say that these do not do that. So next up we have Poppy. So Poppy is going to be a beautiful, it's inspired by Venice. If you guys have been here for a while, Venice Lip and Cheek is the inspiration for this, but it is a beautiful red coral toned lip tint. And I am thoroughly loving this shade for spring. So I am filming in front of natural light. So this should give you a really good idea of what the color is going to look like. Now this is what I would say is a thicker application. And you'll see it is much more glossy than it is lipsticky, which is my preferred, and so much of makeup comes down to preference, but that is my preferred like formulation for the lip is something that is not going to adhere immediately when we're talking something that has staying power, that's going to immediately adhere to any dry patches or wrinkles or anything like that that I have. So I am in love with the texture of this. Let me get a little bit more. You guys, this is Cherry. This one is inspired by Pop. So this one's going to be a little bit more red, a little bit more of a brown undertone, where Poppy is going to have a little bit more coral. Whoop, I don't want to dump that. Let me build this up a little bit. And there is a stopper in here. So when you take it out, you will have a little bit of that pop, which is going to stop it. And then you can wipe off on the inside of the tube, just so you can decide how much product you want. So that is Cherry. And now I think my favorite is Berry. Berry is inspired, they say it's inspired by Lolly, which is also not a current color that we have. I'm gonna disagree just a little bit because Lolly has a little bit more pink, where Berry, I think, has a little bit more raspberry. So this is Berry. Our fifth and final shade I haven't opened yet. So I left it in the packaging so you could see it has the beautiful packaging. You have your embossed Seint logo on it. You also have your embossed logo on the top. Attention to detail for packaging, love it. This one is Jam. Jam is said to be inspired by Black Cherry, and this one is going to be a little more moody, a little bit more brown. I think for fall, this is gonna be the bee's knees. So we have Pinky, Poppy, Cherry, Berry, and Jam. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna leave these on the hand as we talk about the Mother's Day palette. So what I've done is I already did my base of makeup so I can show you all of the shades in the Mother's Day palette. It's a pre-curated palette. We'll put them on the eyes, we'll put them on the cheeks, and then we'll do lips last. We'll apply these, and then at the very end, I will wipe this off so you can see what the stain looks like over the course of, 20 or 30 minutes. I'm also gonna give you a little bit of a spoiler. We have what's called the Lip Whip. This is an unscented, for those of you that don't like scent, these are all unscented. This is a beautiful hydrating gloss that you're gonna be able to throw into your purse. It is so luscious. It feels very cushiony on the lips, very hydrating on the lips. It's filled with skincare ingredients. It's got rosehip oil, coconut oil, olive oil. It has shea butter in it. And I would describe it as not sticky. It is not sticky, but it is cushiony. So it provides a really nice slip to the lips, but it's not one of those products where you're gonna have that sticky, tacky feeling. I already had to grab this out of my purse. I did buy two, so this is what the packaging looks like. I have my other one in here. This is the Lip Whip, and this is so nice. If you like the grab and go, hydrating, cushy, plushy, like glowy, you guys, this looks beautiful on the lips. This product does not disappoint. And in addition to just being really good, it also has the silicone applicator. So let me see, I'll put some on the hand here for you. And I'll put a whole bunch on there so you can see. You see how cushy and plush that is? And that luminosity and reflection is exactly what I'm looking for in my Summer Fridays, my Ole Henriksen. This does an excellent job of giving you that light reflection so that your lips look bigger and your fine lines and wrinkles are not accentuated. So this is also a winner. The lip products do not disappoint, you guys. I feel like we just got a little bit more sunshine, so I'm gonna show these to you one more time with this extra sun that's coming in now. And do you see the sheen? Oh, love. Okay, if you are looking to introduce somebody to Seint, or you wanna spoil your mom, or you want a little Mother's Day gift for yourself, this is the Cream and Sugar collection. Now, these are products that I already have, so some of them obviously are a little bit more well-loved, but this is a gorgeous combination of easy to use fan favorites from the Seint line that do not require somebody to use the highlight and contour. This can be the extras that you buy, or if you already have Seint and you're in love with these, you can add these to your palette and your collection, or keep it simply as your extras. But let me show you what we have. First of all, we have the balm. As you can see, I use the balm all the time. Now, the balm is good. If you don't have the balm, it is truly like a multi-purpose balm. Sorry, I got distracted. My kids are on spring break and the volume level is high. But what I was saying is, so this balm, maybe I need to pick a better area. It is not a highly reflective balm like the Lip Whip is. Do you see it just has that little bit of luminosity? I like both our balm and our lip conditioner to throw into your palette to put on your lips when you're starting to do your makeup. If you're on the go, it's an easy to use product, But the balm over the lip conditioner is truly multi-use from the stance of it has no scent. It can be used under the eye. Have you seen people using the under eye sticks where they hydrate their under eye with a stick first? You can absolutely do that with the balm. And because it is a very thin consistency, put it on first. Now I have makeup on already, but you put it on first, tap it in with your finger, let it really hydrate your under eye. It has squalene in it, as do our lip tints that we have. But if you do a nice thin layer, it's not going to add like a weird glow. It's not shimmery. It's going to hydrate your under eye and it will help just kind of diffuse some of those fine lines and wrinkles. It is truly a multi-use product. For people that don't love an illuminator that has color, it was originally formulated to be a lip balm and a clear highlighter for the cheeks. It went along with our Demi collection, if you're familiar. That's what our current cream correctors are now known as. But do you see how it gives that hint of luminosity? You can use it under the brow, inner corner, or you can mix this with any powder eyeshadow to form a cream eyeshadow. It is a fantastic multi-use product. And I don't know if I said this, but it has no scent. So it works in a multitude of ways and it is a hydrating product. Like I said, it has squalene. Then we have Bella Bronzer. It is our most universal shade. It's absolutely beautiful. It is not too warm. It has just enough of a punch of color to it where it works on a variety of skin tones from fair all the way up to medium. You will be very happy. It gives a little bit of luminosity, no glitter, no shimmer. So we have Balm, Bella, then we have Angel Illuminator, which I think may have been one of the very first illuminators that Seint released. It has a pink undertone. It's super universal. All of our cream illuminators have a little bit of sheen, but again, they don't have any shimmer or glitter pigments to them. So they work really well on mature skin where sometimes, and this is Bella, where sometimes a powder illuminator is not as forgiving. This is so forgiving. So we have Balm, Angel, and Bella. And then we have Boardwalk Lip and Cheek. And this is a matte. It is not matte. This is a gloss. It has a peachy undertone to it. It's going to have just a little bit of sheen. And you guys, this was meant to be curated to be very wearable for like so many different skin tones. Again, I would say that this works really well with anything from a fair to a medium skin tone. This is it applied over the lip whip and you'll see it just gives a beautiful gloss with a little bit of a peach undertone, kind of like your lips, but better. This is great. So this is a lip and cheek, multi-use again. And then 4 incredibly popular and usable eyeshadows. And we're gonna do an eyeshadow look. So let's start with one of my very first purchases, one of our most popular shades. This is Mama. So Mama is gonna be a very soft pink. This is considered a mid-tone matte for a fairer skin tone. For me, this would be more of a lid shade or a wash all over, but it is just a soft pink, very wearable. Let's stick with mattes. This one right here is Basic. If you've watched any of my eyeshadow videos, you know Basic is an absolute staple shade for me. So Mama and Basic, perfect together for a 2-shade look. Obviously, you can create a multitude of looks with a palette like this. Let me show you this pink shimmer. This is Sis. Again, popular, wearable, and you'll see this was curated for all of this to be very easy to create looks. It is pink with a little bit of a peach. It has enough of a reflective quality to put on the lid without emphasizing texture. And then lastly, we have Snowbird. And here's the thing about eyeshadow. What's cool about Seint is that you can always pick what shades you want and build your own collection. Is Snowbird not absolutely gorgeous? And do you see all these together? It's so great. With Seint, you can pick your own shades, so you can create your own palettes. But when it comes to pre-curated palettes, I need them to make sense, meaning I need something that I can wear with a hooded eye and wrinkly eyelids that is not going to emphasize texture, and that's going to be these matte shades. Then I want something that I'm going to be able to build up color both on the lid and in the outer corner, so that I have my 4 colors is typically what you get in like an eyeshadow palette. And this is perfect for that. This is an eye look for a mature eyelid or not. And there are so many different ways that you can use it. Today I'm gonna use all 4 on the lid just so you can see kind of like a 4 shade look. But you could do 1 shade look with these. Like, this is a very well curated 4-pan eyeshadow look. So everything in that I'm showing you today is going to be available. April 29th is the launch date, Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. So that's 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 29th, which I think is next Tuesday. So you will have time to grab something if you like for a gift for Mother's Day, or you can let somebody know what you want for Mother's Day. These will be available next week. I will also send out a newsletter beforehand where I will show you all of these shades individually on the lips. So if you are not a part of my newsletter, make sure you head to the description box below, sign up for the newsletter, and that'll be a reminder of everything that's coming with swatches so that you can take a little bit more time. You don't have to freeze frame, but you can screenshot on YouTube, which is always nice. But you guys, this is Mama. Do you see how beautiful that is? And because it is matte, I washed it all over the lid and up over the crease onto the base of the hood. And you could very simply wash this on your lids and go. Now, I'm gonna take Basic, I'm gonna tap that in, and I'm gonna use this to start to carve out the eye. So when I carve out my eye, because I have a hooded eye, meaning my hood is gonna cover my crease, the first thing that I do is make sure when my eyes are open that I can see it above the crease. Because if I only put it in the crease, which I'm gonna do next because I want a cohesive look, so I can lean back, get it in the crease, but when I look forward, that basic shade is gonna be visible, because with a hooded eye, my crease is essentially covered. So I make sure that I can see it with my eye open, so I'm actually able to see like the eye look that I create. Now I'm gonna tilt my head back. I'm gonna get it into the crease. Still have it up onto the hood. And I'm gonna take a little bit and I'm just gonna work it into the outer corner. And now we're just creating some depth and dimension to the eye. And this could very easily be a 2-shade eyeshadow look for the everyday. And I love that it's called the Cream and Sugar collection, because I think that matches the color story. But I think that also kind of talks to that soft, like kind of brown, pink, peach. Like, it's just a very soft, focused palette. And I think that's beautiful especially when you're talking about gifting something to somebody, you wanna make sure that it's wearable and something that they can easily use. And this is that. So this is Mama washed all over, up onto the crease and the hood, and then Basic as the shade that we're carving out the eye with. Now I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna come in to Sis, and I'm going to pop that onto the ball of the eye, and you can do that very soft if you want just a little light reflection. And now we're gonna start to pop out the center of the eye, because that will help mask that hood. So there it is, very soft. I'm going to come in with my pointer finger now. This is like my finger I use for soft, because I'm very easy with this one, where this one, I have a little bit more control. So now I'm gonna press a little bit more on there. I'm gonna get a little bit more pigment, and I'm going to lift up the hood, and I'm gonna start to build that up just a smidge for just a little bit more color payoff. And I like the control that I get, because this is so helpful for preventing fallout. Do you see how we're building that up, and it's still soft and very wearable, but now we have more of like an eye look, if you will. So there we have adding Sis, and then we're gonna add Snowbird, and I'm gonna grab the smudge brush that has a little bit more of a dense end so we can really pack it in to the outer corner and start to create that upturned almond eye look. This is the smudge brush. It is dual-ended like all of our brushes are, but this one is more dense and it has this rounded tip and it has this flat tip. So you can also use this to pack more of that cis onto the lid if you wanted to. I would touch the side, tap off any excess, and then you could pack more color. The more dense the brush, the more color payoff you're gonna get. Just like a finger, this is gonna give you more color payoff. So if you don't like to touch your eye, something like the flat end of the smudge brush is great for this portion. Now I'm gonna go to the dome end and I am gonna press in. I'm gonna get some, quite a bit here on the tip. I'm gonna tap off any excess and now I'm just gonna slowly build. So I'm starting in the outer corner and I'm just tapping and packing till I'm satisfied with like the depth of color. And then we're gonna make sure that we blend it all. And do you see now we have a very wearable, beautiful, but more defined eye look. I like to keep shimmers, glitters, anything foiled on the lid because of the hood of my eye. If I put something like that directly onto the hood, it tends to emphasize the texture of my hood and it makes my hood look heavier. When I blend it out, a little bit of it will naturally go up there and that's okay. But I do tend to keep it off of this portion in general because when light reflects, if it's on the hood reflecting, it makes the hood look heavier. Where if light's reflecting off the lid, it makes the lid look bigger, which makes the hood recede. So just a little trick of the trade, if you will. Just grabbing a fluffy brush, and all I'm gonna do now is diffuse the edges and make sure that everything is blended together so we don't have any harsh lines where one color stops and the other one starts. And this is just one of the many eye looks. This is just one of the ways that I think wearing all four is beautiful. Now I'm gonna take the small end and I'm actually gonna go into Angel Illuminator. It has that little pink illumination to it, and I'm gonna pop that under the brow. This is gonna help my brow look a little bit more lifted and like I have a little bit more lid space, which is what I'm going for with a hooded eye. I want as much lid space visible as possible. And I'm gonna pop that onto the tear duct. And we'll tap. And we'll also show you Angel Illuminator here on the cheeks in just a second. Let me go finish. We'll do some mascara and then we're gonna start talking lip tints and cheek tints. Okay, I lied to you. We're not ready to move on. We're not ready to move on yet. Okay, I wanted to show you, I did one coat of this and one coat of this, and I didn't even use a lash curler, separator, anything like that. This is the Lash Growth Tubing Mascara that I use. I've been using this for well over a year. This has helped regrow my lashes without discoloring my eyelid. I did have a really good growth product, but it turned my eyelid purple. So I had to look at the ingredients that do that and find a product that didn't. This will be linked below. Everything that I use, even if it's jewelry, things like that, because I get lots of questions about that stuff all the time. Everything is in the description box below, and those are called affiliate links. So anytime you shop one of my affiliate links, I just wanna say thank you. That is such a beautiful way to support my channel, and I'm very grateful for you. And just know that when you shop an affiliate link, it never costs you any more money. It's just a portion of revenue that the company would have received that they compensate us as creators with. So I'm very grateful anytime you do that. But I did wanna mention, this is really great for regrowth, but consider this skincare. This is something that you wanna use every day so that you're seeing that compound effect like you would with skincare. It is tubing, it'll remove with warm water, super easy. I use this as my first layer. I do really like Seint's tubing mascara because I feel like the combination of these gives great hold, length, and volume, where on their own, I don't get as much volume. In combination, I get really good volume. I get good length from both. Both are tubing. They are not gonna pull off your eyelashes. That's why I go with tubing. In addition to that, tubing helps reduce the smudging underneath your eyes. You don't get that transfer. The other thing that's gonna help with transfer is taking that mid-tone matte shade and using it underneath the eye. It does several things. One, it helps carve out the eye without using eyeliner, which for me can look really harsh. So you'll see we just have a little bit more of a like finished complete look. It also helps set anything that's cream on the face so that you don't have cream touching your eyelashes, which sometimes then kind of adds to that transfer. But also we have an upper lid and a lower lid. This lower lid is this right here. I keep as much of my cream products out from my lower lid because it is highly textured. This is going to help diffuse the look of texture underneath the eye, and it really kind of draws the eye away from that. So it helps carve out the eye, it helps set the makeup, it helps with those under eye fine lines and wrinkles. It's really a great thing to do, especially if eyeliner on the bottom makes your makeup look a little too harsh. So I just used basic under there, and I realized I didn't show you Bella bronzer, and I intentionally haven't showed you Boardwalk yet, but let's do some Bella. So right now on my face, I have my color corrector, I have my main highlight shade, I did brighten in the center of my face, and I did a very soft touch of contour, but I did not use any bronzer yet, which is a must for me. I'm a bronzer girl. So let's do a little bit of Bella just to warm things up, and so that you can see, oh, I have hair on my face that just got stuck in that hair. And so that you can see what your Bella in the Cream and Sugar collection is going to look like. It just mimics the warmth that you get from the sun. And for me, I feel like it softens the look and really helps blend everything together. I am going to touch up my under eye here with a little bit of brightener to help diffuse this. The other tool that you can use is your perfector sponge to make sure that you have no lines where like one product starts and another one stops. I have what I would consider a small cheek area. So I like to go in and add a little bit of my brightener just to make sure that everything kind of softens one product into the next versus seeing like high contrast between them. This is a perfector. It's just a damp beauty blender. Well, I have mine damp. That's how you want to use it. And that's going to help soften anything in your makeup as well. So anytime I'm layering, this is an absolute must. You'll see if you got a color match from me, which is where I help you pick your customized shades to like your skin tone, your needs, your color correction concerns. This will always be in there because this is like your fail safe. Okay, before we do Boardwalk, now we're gonna talk lip tints because I'm gonna show you how these can also be like all of the liquid blushes that you're seeing on the market. These can do the same thing. I have a slight love and addiction to these liquid serum-y blushes that have come out. I don't know about you guys, but once I solved my complexion issue, meaning once I was able to figure out how to color correct and I love my foundation, now I am in love with all of the extras again, which I was as a kid. That was like my go-to. Blushes, bronzers, illuminators, eyeshadows, all the things. And I find myself grabbing for every different kind that's out there because my complexion now is like better. Like now I have something that I can count on all the time so I can try all these different things. And what I'm so excited is to try these. I haven't tried it yet. I know based on how it felt on the lips and how, like I've tried those on the lips and they're not even meant for lips, but I know based on how it feels on the lips that I'm gonna love this. Do you guys see how it's like serum-y? This is, in my opinion, going to be perfect. We're gonna find out together. Perfect for that flush. See that? And it's so soft. Like I can totally build this up. But you guys, this is like, it's almost the feeling of like skincare on the face. It just gives this beautiful diffused glow, and this is Poppy. So you'll sneak peek into what kind of stain we're getting. And I'm not concerned about this staining the face because I have my cream foundation underneath. But do you see how beautiful that is for just a flush of color, like with a skin tint or on a no makeup day, or over something that you want to provide just what looks like it's like you're painting with watercolors. I'm obsessed with these finishes of products because I think they look so skin-like and natural. So here we have Just Bella bronzer. Here we've added Poppy. And now I'm going to show you Boardwalk. So let's take Boardwalk Lip and Cheek from the Cream and Sugar collection. And that is beautiful. That's what I still have on the lips. That is Boardwalk. That is Poppy. Let's do a little bit of Boardwalk. These are going, because this is cream and like a serum-y liquid, these are going to play so well together. Look at that. Love it. And I'm gonna take a little bit of an Angel Illuminator just for that reflective quality at the top. And we're not even moving into blush blindness. Usually when I have these many shades on, we're starting to look blush blind, but look, isn't that so beautiful, especially in the summer when you just want your skin to look like skin? Let me grab Poppy, add a little bit more here, and we're gonna do that on this side so that we match. I do really like to use one of these slanted brushes that is soft, but it has a nice density to it for these products. So this is the Makeup by Mario F1 brush, and I feel like it's just the right tapering to hug that point of the cheek that I want. So I really do enjoy a brush like this for these liquid blushes. The Mario F4 would do the same, but it's a little bit bigger. And like I said, I feel like I have a small area, but isn't that so pretty? And any of these lip tints are going to work. Like there is a chance that I might like these more as liquid blushes for that natural sheer finish than even on the lips. It's time to get into the weeds with lip tints. Okay, here's what I did. I hope you guys know that while I love to show you new makeup, what I really love to do is help you decide what you want to spend your money on and if a product is going to work for you, if it's not going to work for you, or all the different ways that it can work for you. So let's talk lip tints. First things first, I did wipe off everything that I had on my lips and I did put on my lip liner. It's the Makeup by Mario. I think this one is the Dusty Rose. I'll have to look. Again, it'll be linked below. But with any product that is not basically a sheer gloss or a lightly pigmented gloss, I like to line my lips. With these, lip tint, a lip stain, anything that has pigment, I feel like if I don't line my lips, I'm prone to them kind of looking off, honestly. The more pigment I have on the lips, the more I need to line them just so that I have a little bit of definition because my lips literally like flow right into my face. Plus, it helps with bleeding, it helps with the wear, it really helps to hold the product in place, which is something that is a struggle for me because of the lip wrinkles and whatnot that I have. Also, you want to, if you want a lip stain, a lip tint, anything with pigment that's meant to stay on the lips, if you want it to last, you want to start with a dry lip. That is your greatest success for getting the pigment to transfer for a longer period of time. So what we're gonna start with is, oh, that's not right. That's not right, that's berry. Hold please. The one I meant to show you first, because we're gonna go from lightest to darkest for the purposes of, I think it's gonna be really hard for me to remove, like fully remove these from the lips, but this is Pinky. Pinky was inspired by the Lip and Cheek Pinky Promise, which is this gloss shade right here. So what I wanted to do is show you what it was inspired by, but also give you ideas if you're somebody who's looking for greater longevity from your lip and cheeks. Having a base color down is gonna be a great way to do that. So right now, again, nothing on the lips except my lip liner. And I'm gonna show you two different ways. Let's start by just popping a little bit in the center and diffusing it onto the lip. This is gonna be, you see that shine? Just from that little bit, it's beautiful. And when it's built up, yes, you can get more color payoff, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So if you want just a flush of color, particularly for like, I'm running out to a baseball game, or you're more interested in a base color to apply things over top, that's how I would do it. Now, if you want something that's gonna be a little bit bolder, what I would do is I would take your wand, I would take off the excess, and then I would build it up. The more you build it up, the more tint you're gonna get, but also the more color payoff from the beginning. I actually figured this was a good time to show you. That was me wiping it off like 30 seconds later. So even now, it still has that sheen, but that's when you can grab something like this. Now you just have a punch of color, so that's kind of like what a tint does. And then you just have a base of color with this beautiful finish. Oh, you know what else would look beautiful? Diamonds Are Forever. We're gonna try that with the next one. What I did for these to show as much true to tone as I could is I wiped it off, and then I used a little bit of my main highlight shade to like diffuse the color down, and then I relined them, but we still have some lasting color. But next we're gonna go into Poppy. So Poppy was inspired by Venice Lip and Cheek, which is no longer available. But do you know what I think it's actually closer to that you guys know I love is Strawberry Shortcake. So these would pair amazing together as a tint and a lip and cheek combo. So let's grab Poppy and do the same thing. I'm gonna wipe off the excess because all I want is a flush of color. And you can see the lightest hand of Poppy. And she's gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna reach back in here. Again, literally one drop. These are gonna last you your entire life. Or you can build it up. Oh, so pretty. As I'm putting this on, you guys have to tell me like what colors you're drawn to. Okay. That's Poppy. I had to change up my method a little bit here because it's staining the lips really quick and I want you to be able to see all of the shades. So what I did, and this is something for you to note because you can do this too, is I wiped that off. I did a little bit of my main highlight to diffuse the color. I put on my lip liner and then I added my lip whip. And now I'm gonna create a barrier between the actual pigment and its ability to stain. So if you're somebody who really loves the pigment, but you're just not a fan of having a stain, you could easily do this. And you're probably still gonna get a little bit of a stain, but you're not gonna have that same depth. So what we're gonna show now is Cherry. And Cherry was inspired by Pop Lip and Cheek, and Pop is still available. I think Cherry would look good under so many reds, honestly. And it is a little bit cooler. I mean, it's red, but it is a little bit cooler. So it's not going to be as orange red. It looks a little bit more brown red to me. Built up, you can probably get more of that orange like punch to it. But even on the hand, you'll see it's not quite like cherry orange, I guess if you would call it. So let's grab it. Okay, again, I'm gonna wipe it off because I don't want too much to start. Put that in the middle. I just really am a fan of things that tint my lips. Now, I do not, you guys, so pretty. I don't like anything, let me show you. For comparison's sake, I do not like anything that is like staining to the point. This, guys, this like marker here from Tarte is a matte stain that you cannot work with this at all. It's bad for mature lips. I put this on and I was like, I can't even explain it. There is no blendability whatsoever. It goes exactly where it goes and it looks like this. If you got more pigment here, that's what it's gonna look like. You guys, these don't do that. If you have tried, I know this was super popular and it's part of the Superstay collection, so it has an audience and I am not the audience. But these lip vinyls from Maybelline. They look like, this is Maybelline, right? I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I was very excited about these. They look like they're gonna have some of that shine. They dry down to this like exaggerated wrinkle texture mess on my lips. And these are not like this. They do have a dry down to them where it's almost like the pigment dries, but the slip and the shine and that glossy feeling, that does not dry. Like even hours later, your lips, though most of that shine and whatnot, like you'll see there's a little bit of transfer here early on, but you still have, I don't know how to explain it. I keep talking to my friend Sarah, who's a Seint artist, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It lasts, as you can see, but it doesn't do anything weird to the lips. So anywho, for those of you that want to see what it's gonna look like, this is gonna be Cherry built up. And she's beautiful. Because I just wanna show you all the things. I did wipe it off, like I have wiped it off. I wanna show you what something like diamonds are forever. Over a lip tint is gonna do. So as that color just kind of stays on the lips, you can add such a beautiful, glossy, glowy, like luminous finish without changing the color. So that is a great, look how pretty the Diamonds Are Forever packaging is, but okay, 2 more to go. So next up we have Berry. I'm really, really loving this shade. This is said to be inspired by Lolly, which is a shade that we no longer have, that if you're listening, Seint, everybody loves Lolly, bring it back. And again, this is inspired by, but what I think that we have that makes a beautiful combo, this is Ruby. Ruby is a pigmented gloss lip and cheek that we have, and I think these two together would just be absolutely gorgeous. So let's put some Berry on the lips. Same method. Wipe off the wand, tap, tap, and see we get more pigmented as we go. So less is more to start. And I can't get all the previous color off, but this is gonna be just a really beautiful, like this is more like Everyday Sammy sort of shade. So this is Berry. Just as a really, really thin tint, wipe off the excess. Now you're gonna have a little bit more pigment. Shaky hands approved. And this has a small doe foot applicator that kind of comes to a point at the edge. And here's why this is nice. First of all, you want control with something that adds a staining or a tinting color. You don't want it going where you don't want it to go. So you want something small enough that doesn't extend to beyond the lip line. However, well, not however, in addition to, you can grab the backside and use it to line. Oh, don't do that. See? Wrinkles. I'll show you how to fix that. But you can use it to line. And then when it starts to diffuse, you'll have even more emphasis for those of you that like more of a tinted lip liner, so that you're just adding color to the middle. But that's what you can use that pointed part for. And if I get outside the lines, I just grab my multitasker, small end, and I go into my main highlight shade. You can clean up the edge. Easy peasy. If you struggle with a lot of lip wrinkles, this is a really good trick in general. And now that's berry all built up. Last but certainly not least is jam. Did I say fig before? It's jam. If I said fig, we have a fig lip and cheek, but this is jam. So jam is said to be inspired by black cherry. But you know what I thought it would look absolutely amazing with is also Love Spell. Any of these, Love Spell, black cherry with jam, I think it would look so beautiful. If you're looking for something to pair with a lip and cheek, those would be great options. But this in general is gonna be good for anything in the brown berry family. And it is also a very beautiful shade. Starting to get quite a bit of staining underneath, but you can see it's the only one I haven't tried on the lips yet. That might be even more me than berry. That's gorgeous. So that is jam, worn lightly. Let's wipe off the wand. Oh yeah. For the fall, oh, this is gonna be so great. Built up in the fall. Just a tint on the daily. You can see that's a little bit more Zaza, I guess. This would also look really pretty with our fig lip and cheek. So there we go. That is jam. I didn't wipe anything off, but I couldn't help myself adding a little bit of Diamonds Are Forever on top of that. I just wanted to see what it looked like, and I am not disappointed. Okay, let's do our longevity test. Here are things to note. 1, the skin on our hand is different than the skin on our lips. Also, no saliva, no talking, no coffee, no eating. This is just a true, what do these look like after probably 45 minutes of talking? Swiping these bad boys off. And there is your tint. Again, I wanted to show you because they didn't want us to call them a stain, but they do an excellent job of holding color. Let me really get in there, be a little bit more aggressive. I can even go side to side like I'm not afraid. And this is what I want. If something tells me that it's gonna tint or stain my lips, this is what I want it to do. I want the color to be there, knowing that this is gonna be a little more diffused because I drink a lot of coffee, I talk all day long. Like even if I don't get this, and I don't need all this, but I do want to tint, and this has probably been 45 minutes of me talking on the video. So, and you'll see even when wiped off, they do not dry matte. They still have that little bit of a sheen to them, and that's when you can add your favorite products, lip and cheek, the lip whip, the Diamonds Are Forever over top just to add hydration and glow. I think that these are an excellent addition. I think they're all gonna look beautiful as liquid blushes on the cheeks. I just think that these are gorgeous. But let me know, what are you guys thinking? Are there certain colors we're loving? Do we like something that leaves a tint? How are we feeling about the sugar and cream collection? You guys, this was a fun one. Thank you for those that have lasted through the duration of the video with me. As always, you guys are the critical component to this community. I love when you ask questions. I appreciate when you share out my videos to help our channel grow. And as always, I'm thankful that you're here, and I will see you next week.